Advisor on National Anti-Corruption Program, Presidential Advisor on Diaspora Affairs. Mr. Speaker, he goes on to appoint Presidential Advisor, Presidential Staffer, and Special Aide to the Vice President, Presidential Staffer for Black Star Experience, and then Presidential Staffer for Diaspora Affairs. Mr. Speaker, then he goes ahead to appoint 5 policy advisors to the Vice President. Mr. Speaker, he tells the country that he's appointed a minister in charge of agribusiness, and yet he's appointed director at the presidency in charge of agriculture and agribusiness. My good friend Peter Buama Otukono. Mr. Speaker, he says he will not appoint deputy regional ministers, and he appoints 16 presidential staffers in charge of the 16 regions of our country. Mr. Speaker, I want to submit that these presidential staffers in charge of the 16 regions of our country, in essence, as it relates to the cost on the national exchequer, are in fact, indeed, and in substance, deputy ministers of state. Mr. Speaker, he then appoints, Mr. Speaker, listen carefully, please. Mr. Speaker, he then appoints 1 presidential advisor on media, 4 directors of communication at the office of the president, 5 deputy directors of communication, 2 communication specialists, 5 technical communication assistants, 1 media aide, 1 assistant media liaison officer, 1 communications consultant. Mr. Speaker, I've done the mathematics, and I want to submit. Mr. Speaker, I've done the mathematics that I want to submit, and I do this not from a partisan lens, but I do this as somebody who had the privilege and honor to serve as Deputy Chief of Staff. I know how it works. In terms of the cost on the national exchequer, the President has appointed 100 ministers and deputy ministers. Mr. Speaker, the President has established a Ministry of Youth Development. Mr. Speaker, I want to refer the House
rule with all I will and mine forevermore, and help us to resist oppressors' rule with all I will and mine forevermore. Serve thee, God, and now and evermore. In every need, whether the call may be, to serve thee, God, and now and evermore. Raise high the flag of
Good morning, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us on Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. Today is the 7th of March, 2025. Thank God we're still alive and kicking. And so a big thanks to the Most High God for keeping us alive and kicking. And also to thank you for staying very loyal to the show and knowing that you wake up every morning to tune to Good Morning Ghana because of the quality of the conversation that takes place and also the quality of the guests that we invite on the show. I would straight ahead go and look at the front page stories on the newspapers. I'll start with the Daily Graphic of today. Daily Graphic today is reporting 68th Independence Anniversary, President unveils vision for self-reliance. There's public lot cost cutting on Independence Day. The Ghanaian Times. Ghana marks 68th Independence Anniversary. Posterity will not accept our failures, President Mahama. Fire kills girl, displaces 40 others in Bolgatanga. Alleviate suffering of commuters on Ofanko in Sawam Road. Minister charges contractor. Gaming Commission seeks media support to clamp down on illegal underage gambling. Daily Guide. Nana Kufuor storm Independence Day celebration. Odumase fire explosion kills 3. GES backtracks on non-payroll staff sacking. The New Weekend Crusading Guide. President Mahama affirmed $10 billion big push agenda to create more jobs. Shirley Ayokobotre, Secretary General-elect of the Commonwealth Rights, working for equality is permanent struggle on International Women's Day. SMG statement on the 68th anniversary Independence Day. And there's Anas Emir of Gombe meet to thank him as Northeastern University names Multimedia Center after investigative journalist. NDCPC fingered in $150 million cocaine bust. CBTG thumbs up gold board says it is viable. Ghana Gold Board initiative, serious error in judgment. Dr. Razak Kojo Opoku. The Insight. On 68th Independence Anniversary, SMG salutes Nkrumah and calls on Mahama government to ensure equitable, self-reliant Ghana based on socialist policies. Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman honors exceptional students at the 2025 President's Independence Day Awards. Brouhaha over Ghana's financial position. End the debate. Time for full disclosure. NPP NDC told. Media CSOs charged to strengthen advocacy ahead of UN high-level meeting on NCDs. Ni Jan Biamu family asserts its rightful ownership of Denchira lands. The Informer. Minority-majority tango over bloated presidential appointments. Planned establishment of Gold Board era. Razak Kojo Opoku, Vice President honors Rawlings for promoting academic excellence. Boku needs peace, Mahama to factions. This transfer of government project, CDD urges politicians to follow due process. Gambia Jospon Group partner to tackle waste challenge in African way. The Inquisitor. Destruction work in NPP, Nanado fingered as he seeks to control affairs. March 6, celebration cost slashed from 15 million cedis to 1.5 million cedis. Net concerns will be featured in 2025 budget. Dr. Ato Forsen, Kosa falls NDC's reset agenda. The Herald. Gensa GMPC controversy erupts in Mahama's government. Officials pushing to ratify gas deal without investigations. Governor Siama runs from Ernest Addison skeletons in $261 million Bank of Ghana headquarters. Mahama defense cost-saving Independence Day budget. Akufo-Addo attends celebration without iconic chair. MP inaugurate audit committee to strengthen accountability. E&I Ghana Vitol GMPC deliver vital social project in Western region. The Publisher. Minority leader tells Parliament, stop Mahama's lawless conduct now. Jinapor strips presidency naked, says 100 ministers are on payroll. GJA fight closure of the Esseweni radio. There's EBLF to champion mental health inclusivity. The custodian. Program Bako definitions bebre. Program Bako definitions bebre. Conmox NDC on 24-hour economy. Jospon Group, the Gambia, signed waste management deal. Your mass dismissals pose serious security risk. Afenyomark tells Terminator 1 Mahama. Abuja Napo exposes Mahama over lean government scam. Governments borrowing from T-bills to hit 72 billion cedis today. Gideon Bwako. And Razak Kojo Opoku writes, Ghana Gold Board is a serious error in judgment. Daily Post. Government to release funds for industries under 24-hour economy. Trade Minister. We shall live the dreams of our forebears in our lifetime. Mahama. Mahama directs Finance Minister to fund Blekusu Sea Defense Phase 2. So these are the front page stories of the newspapers today. You're still watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. Stay with us, please. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kelkit Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush.
Makes your teeth stronger, chicky chicky whiter, chicky chicky stronger.
Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kelkits. Happy smile.
Attention all farmers, are you ready to take your crops to the next level? Introducing 3 effective organic composts that will revolutionize your farming practices. ACAP, KCAP and Iricop brings to you the ultimate solution for your fertilizer needs. Introducing the ACAP Grade A, KCAP Equiafua Jinkwa and the Iricop with cocoa blends, palm blend and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste. And these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today. Boost your crop yield, improve soil health, and support sustainable farming practices. Choose ACAP, KCAP, and Iricop organic compost for a greener and bountiful harvest. For your purchase and more information, call the numbers on your screen. Our products are endorsed by Cocoa Board, Planting for Food and Jobs, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
In an era where fire safety is paramount, Kabori Film Compound Technologies Limited stands out as a leader in the development of innovative fire dousing solutions. With a focus on aqueous film forming foam, the company provides a cutting-edge product that significantly enhances fire suppression capabilities across various sectors, including maritime, industrial, and emergency response.
The oil and gas sector, along with chemical manufacturing facilities and fire services.
Kabori's advanced film technology offers a more efficient and environmentally responsible alternative.
Kabori is recognized for its superior extinguishing capabilities and prolonged resistance to reignition. Kabori's product is certified by the Ghana National Fire Service, the Ghana Standards Authority, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Nigerian Standards Organization.
Kabori Film Compound Limited is situated in Nsawam within the eastern region of Ghana. For inquiries, reach out to them on 0245-885-288 or 0244-514-048. You may also contact them via email at info@kaborifilm.com. Kabori Film Compound Technologies Limited, providing film compound solutions to help institutions.
Who are you? Who are you? Charlie, I'll be you from the future. Who doesn't sleep on that slice of bread you call mattress anymore? Don't some slippers then follow me. It is part of the mattress we did the front there. Yeah? That be the mattress where the dead go. Wait, what are you doing? Wow! No damage at all. Not only durable, but also super comfortable. Come on, try it.
Nothing day like ash foam. Enjoy full body support and unparalleled comfort for a restful sleep.
Don't forget your keys.
Get the premium sleep experience with mattresses from Ash Foam. Visit any of our showrooms nationwide or at ashfoam.com.
Mommy.
Michelle say, fe.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Kel Chocolate Toothpaste. Healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Kel Chocolate Toothpaste. Sankofa.
Yenchi. Kel Chocolate Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Fire pomudi ni agubi. Ghana fueni aji. If you say ya your local spices na ya fra dia ya sankofa natural spice.
Me de go me jollof mu. Ne me still ahodoma. Emane dance.
Stanley, the barbecue they go on.
Sankofa natural spices. And one you use 100% natural. Said the pen.
Adofo, mamunye huge mistake. Sankofa natural spices. The
FDA ejedi nkratu yatu.
Customer. Adana, who say?
Malaria been actually me, man. No more still.
One give us.
Give us a solid.
Yeah. Sorry. But Ross also give us here and don't come down.
But you good action. But tomato give us the and some down.
Give us about me, sir.
Me patron the and some down.
Customer. Give us that now. Onuya kayo oba wa frafro nom
the woman the bonu for nom akwada won yefie dumie no ono nso no.
Attention all farmers. Are you ready to take your crops to the next level? Introducing 3 effective organic composts that will revolutionize your farming practices. ACAP, KCAP and ARICOP brings to you the ultimate solution for your fertilizer needs. Introducing the ACAP Grade A, KCAP Equiafua Jinkwa, and the ARICOP with cocoa blends, palm blend and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste, and these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today.
Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, Your Ladyship, the Chief Justice, Your Excellency, Chairman of the Council of State and members of the Council of State, Your Excellency, President John Agyekum Kufuor, former President of the Republic of Ghana, Your Excellency, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, former President of the Republic of Ghana, and our special guest, Your Excellency, President Jakaya Kikwete, former President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Ministers of State, Honorable Members of Parliament, Nime, Name, our traditional rulers, religious leaders, our service chiefs, our troops, school children, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends of the media, and good people of Ghana. I wish you all a happy independence anniversary. 10 years ago, during the 58th independence anniversary, we implemented reforms to the annual Independence Day parade. This reform eased the burden of thousands of school children who march, sparing them from hours of standing in the scorching sun. They formed up on the parade ground only when it was time for their march past and presidential acknowledgement. A few years ago, the previous administration also implemented reforms, deciding to rotate the hosting of Independence Day celebrations among the regions of our country. This initiative was intended to bring the celebration closer to all our people. Unfortunately, this year we are constrained not only to interrupt the celebrations rotation amongst the regions, but also to hold it on a scaled-down version here at the forecourt of the presidency instead of the traditional Black Star Square. This is necessary considering the economic crisis our nation is currently experiencing. Large-scale celebrations often come with significant logistical, security, and infrastructure costs, which strain the national cities for holding the event at the Independence Square on the same scale as the previous years. In a year when we are calling on all to sacrifice, including workers who have graciously accepted a base pay adjustment far below the rate of inflation.
Mr. Speaker, Article 67 of the Constitution is quite clear that the President is to deliver a message on the state of the nation before this House. So if any president came here and focused his entire attention on telling us what the state of the nation is, without going into what plans he has to address whatever problems he has encountered, Mr. Speaker, he will be well within his rights to do so. But right at the outset, President Mahama made it clear that he was not here merely to give an account on the state of the nation, but he was here to tell us exactly what he was going to do to get us out of the abysmal depths into which the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government sank this nation. And Mr. Speaker, he inspired hope in the generality of the people of Ghana. I have also listened with considerable shock as our colleagues on the other side have insisted that the economy that they bequeathed to President Mahama and his government was anything to write home about. Mr. Speaker, during our days in secondary school, we read the books of the Venerable Professor Na Afale Sakifio, who wrote in one of his books that the lizard says it is not as indignant at the boy who threw a stone at it than at the one who lauded the boy for having a good aim. It is bad enough that they bequeathed the country to the Mahama administration in the state that they did. But it is completely unacceptable and constitutes an insult to the people of Ghana to tell them that the terrible economy that they left is better than the one that they inherited. Mr. Speaker, fortunately, economic analysis is not done in a state of vacuum. Ghanaians have lived through the worst economic crisis in a generation. Ghanaians have lived through the worst economic crisis under the Fourth Republic, if not in the entire history of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, since the year 2020, or immediately after the elections of that year, the Ghanaian economy has been in a tailspin. For the first time in decades, a Ghanaian government defaulted on debt payment. And Mr. Speaker, there is no better measure of the collapse of an economy than the failure of a government to meet its debt obligations. When President Mahama was leaving power in January 2017, Ghana could fulfill its debt obligations. Mr. Speaker, our colleagues on the other side say that the economic indices they left were better than the ones that they inherited. Mr. Speaker, that cannot be true. Mr. Speaker, when the NDC was leaving power in 2017, our debt to GDP ratio, which is a theoretical measure of whether or not you can offset your debt in one bullet payment to the size of your GDP, showed that we could do that with barely half of our GDP and still have almost half to spare on other things.
Live and good morning, Ghana on Metro Television. My name is Audu Moro. Thank you very much for staying with us, and I hope that you enjoy the videos that we're playing. Let me also say that Blue Jeans Energy Drink is proudly associated with the Good Morning Ghana program. Blue Energy Drink, as I always tell you, Blue Jeans Energy Drink, as I always tell you, has been on the Ghanaian market for 20 years. We already know what it does for the body. It contains very, very useful vitamins and nutrients like vitamin B2, B3, B6, B12, as well as taurine and guarana, which are known to boost your strength and energy, as well as promoting high performance and endurance. So Blue Jeans Energy Drink has been tested, it's been tried, we love it, we think it's great. Try it too, and it is indeed the best. Blue Jeans Energy Drink is for bold and active women and men. It's in shops nationwide. Please contact Budget Cash and Carry Limited on 0208 128 190, 0208 128 190. Alternatively, call 055 055 001 0000, 055 001 000. That's Blue Jeans Energy Drink, my favorite energy drink. I've also got some good news for you. We want you to experience Good Morning Ghana the more. And so Good Morning Ghana is also live on 94.1 FM. Good Morning Ghana is live on 94.1 FM. It doesn't have a name, but it's a fantastic radio station. Just tune in to 94.1 FM and listen to Good Morning Ghana, just in case you are on the move. But then again, you want to monitor quality, yeah? So we've given you an alternative, 94.1 FM. I also must say that Good Morning Ghana is also live on our digital media platforms. On Facebook, look out for Good Morning Ghana. Good Morning Ghana on Facebook or Metro TV Ghana. Okay, so either Good Morning Ghana or Metro TV Ghana. And also on YouTube is Metro TV Ghana. Remember, we're also live on DSTV channel 277. So we're going to kickstart our conversation now. Let me say that my resource persons, one of them has actually joined me. And this person we're talking about is a journalist. And she says she will always be a journalist. And I'm talking about Shamima Muslim, who is a deputy presidential spokesperson who's taking time off a very busy schedule to join us this morning. And we're grateful that she has done that. She's a government official. Good morning. And assalamu alaikum, my sister. How are you? It's good to see you. Yeah, Ramadan Mubarak.
Yes.
Yeah, how's it going?
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
We are thankful for life and we're thankful for what we are achieving so far. The reset agenda is really on course. A lot of things have happened in a very short space of time. And we're just hoping that we'll be able to keep the momentum. And even as we're beginning to roll out some of the preliminary interventions that would set the foundation for the concrete work that we need to do, we'll be able to bring, those tangibles upstream very soon. Hopefully after the 11th of March budget, we should see the allocations that are going to some of the priority areas, and we should really begin to see real work on the ground. So, alhamdulillah.
How's the job been so far since you took up the position of a deputy presidential spokesperson, i.e., how you're dealing with combining work, family, and even friends, because it's a very difficult task. It's a very difficult job. How are you combining?
You've tried to reach me a few times and you didn't get me right.
Some of us, even me, I've tried to reach my own sister a couple of times.
More of my brother tried to reach me. But there are real challenges to this job that I think that those who are in it, we don't speak about it enough, also because of the general, perception and the expectation. But there are real-time demands on the people you vote, especially in the forming stages. There's a lot of planning that is required, and sometimes calls and text messages, very important that they are, but they come at a time that you're probably in a meeting or you're doing something and you've closed late, and sometimes you're not able to go through all of those calls. So I keep telling my friends to be patient with me and to understand, and maybe also to use this opportunity to tell our fans out there who try to reach us that what we're trying to do is to stabilize a situation and to be able to bring on board the programs that will make it easy for us to help you. Many people are asking for jobs. Many people are asking for money to solve problems. And these jobs will not be plucked from trees. The money will not be plucked from trees either. So the work needs to happen as quickly as possible so that the opportunities will be generated, so that we will be able to facilitate the job opportunities that you want. And so please bear with your leaders, whoever they are. But even as I say that, I would also like to caution the appointees. Sometimes just pick the call and explain briefly so that people understand. People shouldn't feel like they can no longer get access to you because of your position. So let us work together so we would build this Ghana we want. So happy Independence Anniversary, bro.
Yeah, and happy Independence Anniversary too. And you know what? I mean, those of us who interview you on media platforms have not been spared of the pressure. Because when somebody's trying to get through to say Shamima Muslim or say, well, NS, he's in a position now, so nobody calls me to say they are trying to reach NS Adade and they can't
find him.
But if they can't reach Shamima Muslim, they'll call and say, my brother, can you please call Shamima and tell her ABC? They say, look, she's busy, and they say, yeah, but try,
But I've actually
so
been quite responsive to media, as you can see.
Yeah, you have.
I've been primarily very responsive to the media.
And I'll give you massive credit for that. Massive thumbs up for that, because you're all over the place anyway. Trying to propagate and to, basically educate the public on exactly, and so
let me also, if you allow me, use this moment to wish all our school children who are home today, and I'm sure many of them are watching, a happy independence anniversary celebration. I know many of you participated in your district events. Many of you marched at your various districts across the country. Some of you also watched with your parents on television. And I want to assure you that this particular year's celebration was all about you, our young learners, and our pupils and our students. If you look at the program yesterday, all the voices were female voices, and that was also very beautiful, from the two commentators who provided commentary and the MCs to the females who came with the first poetry performance, to the choir. The choir was predominantly female, but there was male too. I'm also rooting for my my boy child. So next year we want to also have more of them. But I'm saying that the program was largely female, and it was all focused on the young people. So even though we reduced the numbers of young people participating in the national event by way of a march past, as you see, the guard of honor was mounted by the various security agencies that we had, and it was very beautifully done, if you ask me. So what we want to say to you from His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, that he is a father that is committed to your welfare. He is working very hard to give you quality education so that you can grow to become everything that you want to be. And we want you to also grow up loving your country. Ghana is the country that you've been given birth in. It's the land of your birth. Know that there are many people who you see today, whose stories you read in the history book, who were once like you as a young learner, as a young child. They loved their country, they took their studies seriously, and today their names are written in gold in our history books. I want many of you to dream today of wanting to become that, to leave your mark in the sands of time, so that tomorrow your great-great-grandchildren will read about your contributions to your country in our history books. That's the message I'd like to share with our young learners and our children and our students and our youth generally, to love this country and to do everything they can to also leave their mark on the fabric of our society.
This directive for the school children to stay at home, is it across the board or just public schools? It's
usually public schools, because I know a few private schools who have already had their holidays, who really didn't participate in the marches. Some of them have gone to school. But for all the public schools, there's a holiday.
But going forward, would government want to take a second look at it? Perhaps roping, so that you can rope in the private schools as well, or it's just not possible?
Oh, why is it not? I think that, especially if you take a look at the proposals for expanding the free senior high school to private schools. Private schools are a key stakeholder in our educational system. In many, and people think that private schools are rich schools. Private schools are not all rich schools. They are private schools operating in our inner cities and very deprived communities, who are providing essential educational intervention for the children of those in markets, because the public schools have not quite reached those places as yet. So we need to also demystify our conceptions of private schools. So all of those kinds of schools that are intervening where government is unable to, must always also have the right to participate in some of these national events. That would be my personal opinion.
Okay, that's fine. I think at this juncture, I'd want to invite Ernest Adade. Ernest Adade is a member of the MPP's communications team. He's also joined us this morning to, contribute to the conversation that we're about to have. Ernest, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us on Good Morning Ghana. It's always a pleasure having you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
The other day when you came, you mentioned to me that you're going to solidarize with Muslims and you're going to start fasting. I don't know whether you started. Shall I show us some solidarity? Don't do that.
Once president for YCS and all that. So it's purely a Catholic organization, but because of education, I've been there.
I see. Okay, so let's kickstart the conversation this morning, and I'll start with the daily graphic.
Oh, but you missed one big opportunity.
Which one?
Yesterday was my birthday.
Oh, yesterday was your birthday?
Yes, I told Annie that.
Did you tell Annie about it?
I told her, and I told her I was expecting my big box.
of
whatever you have.
Whether cake or
Maybe
non-alcohol, because I know you
yes.
don't do alcohol, so
Yes,
non-alcoholic champagne.
I don't. So it's not too late.
It's not too late.
Yes, we are still within the month of independence, so you can bring it today.
Okay.
It can be Momo, don't worry.
Before we present you that package or that gift, let me on behalf of the management of the station and the head of production of Good Morning Ghana, and for Ampofo, wish you a happy belated birthday. All I can say is that you're a good man. And may God
I have
continue
to
to bless
record
you.
this thing and put it somewhere.
Really?
Just in case he changes his
For
mind.
the whole GMG to wish me a happy birthday on Good Morning Ghana. Charlie, I'm a big man.
You're a big man.
I'm grateful.
You're a big man. You're a big man.
I'm very grateful for the opportunity.
Right.
But I wanted to just contribute a little to the Independence Day,
Sure.
and then you commence the conversation around our school children.
Right. In fact, we're going to have a whole conversation about the Independence Day. So, if you can,
then
okay, that's fine. That's fine. And then you can chip in the bit about whether we should extend the holidays to the private schools. So that's fine.
Okay.
So let's start. So the Daily Graphic today is reporting the 68th Independence Anniversary. President unveils vision for self-reliance. So Kester Abraham Crunchy is reporting that President John Dramani Mahama has rallied the nation to support his agenda to reset the country and help it break free from its cycle of dependence on foreign aid. In an address to mark the 68th Independence Anniversary at the Jubilee House in Accra yesterday, the president stated that proclaiming self-reliance while relying on donors was meaningless. Proclaiming self-reliance while marching straight back into the hands of the donor agencies begging bowl in hand is really meaningless. To break this cycle of dependence and reset our economy, and my administration is formulating policies based on fiscal job expansion, boost productivity, increase export capacity and trade footprint, and also reduce the country's dependence on foreign aid. While the 10 billion Big Push initiative would modernize infrastructure, create jobs, stimulate local industry, and ensure that development was driven from within rather than funded from outside, President Mahama said agriculture remained our biggest opportunity to reduce import dependence. With over 2 billion spent annually on food imports, the Agriculture for Economic Transformation agenda, another policy of this government, was structured to strengthen local agribusiness and ensure food security, he said. The president named other initiatives as the Feed Ghana program and the Poultry Farm to Table initiative, otherwise referred to as Nkoko Nkete Nkete program, which would boost domestic poultry production and processing to directly address our 95% reliance on imported poultry products. Now, in a related development, if you look at the Ghanaian, so still with the Daily Graphic, so if you look at page 13, and I want to put all of that together so that we can have a more comprehensive conversation. So that if you look at page 13 of today's, of the same newspaper, it talks about the public reaction to a government policy decision. So public laud cost cutting on Independence Day. Dixon, Walanyo Doche, and Diana Mensah are reporting that as Ghana marked its 68th independence anniversary with a solemn celebration at the Jubilee House, some citizens have expressed varied opinions on the government decision to cut costs and its overall performance in office so far. Traditionally, Independence Day, March 6, is marked with a national parade at the Independence Square in Accra, and it's attended by the president, government officials, military, students, and citizens, with similar parades and events taking place in regional capitals and districts across the country. In his address at the event yesterday, President John Mahama revealed that the state spent 15 million cedis in last year's celebration in Koforidua and spent 13.7 million on the previous year's celebration in Ho in the Volta region. This year, he said, the government received estimates of at least 20 million cedis for the event at the Independence Square on the same scale as the previous year. President Mahama said yesterday's event saved the nation 95% of the estimated cost of the event, meaning the states spent just 1 million cedis on the event instead of the estimated 20 million. I noticed some of the newspapers are reporting 1.5, so officially it's 1 million, as the president himself has said. Now, the day, features march past, cultural displays, and so on and so forth. Now, for many, this is where the reaction comes in. So for many, The decision to scale down the celebration was a welcome development, considering the country's current economic situation. A shopper at the Carnation Market Complex, who only gave a name as Richard, said the government was on the right track, especially with its cost-cutting measures and ministerial restructuring. You can see more amendments in the area of ministerial appointments and even the measure of some ministries. The decision to cut costs during our 68th independence and celebration is part of the President's agenda of resetting Ghana so far. But, Shamima, I rather want to ask a broader question, which is, what do you want Ghanaians to take away from not just the celebration, but the President's speech as well?
Number one, that the President is the President for the people of Ghana, and that at every point in time, it is the welfare of the citizens that will be of paramount importance to him, that he wants to demystify the seat of government, for the people of Ghana, and let Ghana know that sovereignty actually lies in them, and that many of the people who sit and work in that building are there because they voted them there. And so opening up the presidency to the general public is just one significant way of, demystifying the seat of government and bringing the people closer to governance. In an era where the clarion call is, let us work together to build the Ghana we want. And that includes collaboration, it includes cooperation, it includes accountability, and it includes congruence and integrity. The President cannot be seen to be preaching prudence and to be preaching, service leadership, to be admonishing his own appointees to at all times avoid public display of profligacy, to be urging his public appointees to at all times ensure that there is real value for money for the things that they engage in. The President cannot be seen to have negotiated a low base pay for the labor of Ghana, labor that understands where this nation is in terms of the economic crisis we currently face, and were willing to vary their interest lower than what they went into that negotiations with the promise that we would manage our collective resources in a better, efficient way to ensure we are able to restore our economy and bring back productivity, and ultimately be in a better position to do more for the workers of Ghana. We cannot preach these things and then practice differently. So one of the major takeaways from this particular event is to once again convince the people of Ghana that we have a president who is truly committed to turning over this new chapter, a chapter that he continues to remind all of us of, that we must truly come on board, because building a new Ghana or a better Ghana is not a work for just the president or his appointees. It is work for all of us. It means public servants, civil servants. It means the private sector are all working in ways that increase productivity and expand opportunities for the teeming mass of unemployed. It means saving this nation the excessive bleeding that it has experienced over the years, that today leaves us with a public debt of over 721 billion. It means telling Ghanaians that we need cost-saving and cost-cutting mechanisms to be able to raise the revenues to service the debts tomorrow that currently sits on our book, both our domestic and our foreign debts. As I speak to you, we will require over 280 billion over the next 4 years to service our domestic and foreign debts. Domestically, 150 billion. All the pensioners who have had, their monies locked up, through no fault of theirs, who need it, the jobs that have been lost, the families that have been broken as a result of the economic crisis. And we owe our foreign, debtors 130 billion Ghana cedis. If we look at the bills that are sitting on the ECG book, 68 billion Ghana cedis. Look, we cannot make this up. We are in a very dire situation. So we need urgently to cut down on public expenditure and to ramp up on avenues to, mobilize more revenues whilst also increasing productivity so that we can solve our problems and still be able to provide dignified livelihoods for the citizens of Ghana. If we look at this current situation, I think we cannot afford to expend 20 million Ghana cedis on the commemoration of our Independence Day, a day that many people on the side of pessimism continue to say there's nothing to celebrate about, because after 68 years of Ghana's political liberation, what was supposed to be the next stage of liberation, which was our real economic liberation, has still not come, largely because the global South hegemony continues to exclude, the economy of Africa, even though African resources continue to power European, industries and which also powered their civilization. If you look at that kind of picture, it is stark, so to say, and you might want to agree with the pessimists who think that Ghana has not done well and Ghana is even not worth dying for, and that the spirit of nationalism is and patriotism is at an all-time low. Genuinely, because if a country can't give you growth and progress, if you look back at 10 years of your life, 15 years of your life, 20 years of your life working, and you can't even afford, a simple 3-bedroom, house for your family, you can't switch on the light and have it consistently, you can't turn on your tap and have quality water flowing through, you would wonder whether this country is working. When you travel and you see how other leaders have changed tangibly the face of their economies, you would ask whether there is anything to celebrate. So they will be right if they hold such view. What I want to add that we cannot continue to hold that view, because that view is disempowering. What we should do is to gather around the table and ask ourselves, how do we change the situation? How was it that our forebears, in the face of very difficult circumstances, stronger adversaries, in the face of slavery, colonialism, how did our forebears mobilize enough to be able to fight for the freedoms that we today, enjoy? Some would say that we couldn't have attained independence. It was because the global South was tired of their war and they themselves were broke from the Second World War. But, well, whatever the history tells to be the series of events that worked together to grant many African countries, including Ghana, our independence for Ghana in 1957. But preceding that would have been the mobilizing and actions of the 1948, crossroads shootings, where the former ex-servicemen marched to demand what was rightfully theirs. Many historians told us that was like the watershed moment towards Ghana's, independence struggle. Nkrumah will later come on, form his CPP, and lead Ghana to, political independence. Political independence, but still not economic. So if you look at how far we have come as a nation, but for some of the rude military interventions that interrupted our democratic, progress, we have done well with the Fourth Republic. Within the sub-region, I think we can proudly say that Ghana remains an oasis of peace. Peace that is not given, peace that we must guard, with every strength within us. Peace that we shouldn't let this creeping, very divisive, deeply partisanship that is characterizing our governance, erode. Peace that we shouldn't let this unbridled greed and corruption that is holding this nation in chokehold, make us lose. But we do have that peace. We can proudly speak about a country that has seen democratic elections in several cycles of different governments peacefully handing over to other government. Of course, there are always underlying issues. So I would say that we have a strong foundation to build upon. So it is time for us to remove the cloaks of pessimism and begin to don new cloaks of optimism, especially in this era where it does look like Ghana has been given a new leash of life. a new chapter to do with, a new blank, canvas to envision and reimagine a new Ghana that would work and deliver the prosperity that continues to elude us. So there is a lot to be thankful for, even though there's a lot to be exasperated by, but the opportunity has come. We have given Ghana a new independence, a second independence, as many people say, because of the mandate that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama came into government with. So let us work together. If you look at the economic dialogue, and I think we'll speak to it later on.
We'll talk about that.
But the people who came, the breakout sessions, the captains, CEOs of the private sector who were in the room, executive directors of civil society organizations, labor unions, student organizations, all manner of people commit their time, their expertise, their knowledge to the process. Outcomes that they have promised that they are willing to further engage all sector ministers in those specific thematic areas to roll out. There are some real low-hanging fruits.
Okay.
When we build a country together with inclusion, with consultation, we are most likely to go far on the journey of development.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to say about this Independence Day celebration and how
Ernest, I'll bring you in. I'll bring you
life.
in shortly. But there's one other issue which has come up, and in fact, there was Sampiali was here yesterday, and he expressed a bit of a mixed, or let me say, misgivings about how we organized yesterday's celebration. In as much as he says he understands, yes, about the venue of the celebration of the independence.
Maybe an opinion, not a misgiving.
Well, that's how I interpreted it. Not the celebration itself, but where it was celebrated.
Okay.
He felt that looking at the relevance of the whole journey of gaining independence for Ghana, looking at the people who have sacrificed, as yourself, as you have said earlier, it's such a big deal, and it must be celebrated as such. He doesn't in principle, have a problem with cutting costs, because he agrees that we're in some very difficult times. But could we have still spent the same 1 million cedis at the Independence Square and still achieve the same purpose, rather than doing it at the Jubilee House?
Is it a symbolism of the venue?
Because of the symbolism of the venue.
Size,
the symbolism of the venue.
Of course,
that's where he's coming from.
I think that the symbolism also of a seat of government cannot be discounted in terms of bringing citizens to the seat of government. I can understand because of the historic match commemoration at that same value, at the same venue.
Right.
Do you get what I mean?
I get it.
We couldn't have bidden that. 7th January was just 50 or so. January was just 50 or so days away.
Yeah.
We held that grand inauguration because that really heralded, the second independence. If you watch the videos of Nkrumah flanked by his, colleagues and, declaring at long last, the battle has ended and Ghana, our beloved country, is free forever. I mean, those echoes of that time past would continue to remain with us. And I think we saw that on 7th January.
Okay.
So I think that we shouldn't even, we shouldn't jinx, what we did at that venue with of course, in 2 years, Ghana will be 70 years.
Yeah.
There will be no place better to commemorate it back than at the Black Star Square.
Okay.
It will happen.
Okay.
But just about the cost, it would have still been more costly.
Oh, really?
Remember, the budgets were done with that venue in mind.
Okay.
You would have needed more canopies, you would have needed more contingents.
More chairs.
Yes, more chairs,
Perhaps.
perhaps, and all of that would have come at a cost. But, it's not really like counting pennies. It is the optics of communicating to a country that even with national events like this, the optics of telling a country that even as we are asking you to make sacrifices, these are some of the sacrifices we have to make. It is the symbolism of the cutting down of a national event. So if we can cut down expenses on a national event that many people would have wanted to come around and witness, it is telling you that there is commitment to act differently to solve the problem. And that commitment will require you also losing some things or preferences, you know. So you go back, oh, but because Charlie, was saying reduce our expenses. People will have those kinds of reflections. If you go to the chop bar and you would have bought 4 pieces of meat, maybe Charlie, even government is cutting down costs. So let me see how I cut down my costs. We wanted to seep into our individual behaviors, because it is really our individual behaviors and the right values that if we're able to embrace this new chapter.
I just thought that it was good for us to say we are cutting costs. Very good. Because we are at a time when we need a lot more money, and therefore we must cut costs. It's a good decision that His Excellency the President made. But if you know what actually goes into preparations and the actual celebration of the 6th of March, the things that actually cost us more may not necessarily be the canopies and the things that have to do with the parade itself.
Okay.
So my opinion was that just by moving the parade alone, it might not be what saved us the monies that we wanted to save. I believe periodically these celebrations cost us more. There are invitations here and there. We spend money on foreign dignitaries and all that, and then sometimes the after parties and things all bring in certain high levels of cost, and for that matter those ones could have been removed. Maybe subsequent ones. I think yesterday's program went well, and subsequent ones, let's consider bringing back the spirit of the independence celebration. I loved the idea of us rotating it for only one reason. We've done it in Accra all these years. There will be somebody my age who might never have had the opportunity to see it firsthand.
Yes.
So we, those who might have been born and bred in Accra, or you stay very close to the celebrations, might not value it. But I saw this when the celebration happened in Tamale. Yes, I think that was the first one.
Yes.
I think Tamale was the first one. And the way people reacted to it, I listened to people's opinions on the celebration that was brought close to them. And you could see the euphoria. The whole thing gave me a different picture altogether. So you realize that even though we, those in Accra, might think it's a normal thing, if you watched the Tamale one, I think the next one was in Sunyani, thereabout or so. If you watched them, you will see what it brought to the people. It's like Ghana going into the World Cup sort of thing, and Ghana wins a match, and you can imagine the euphoria. That's what I saw when these rotations started. So it's something that if the money is there and we can afford it, I don't believe we should take it away from the rest of the regions who have not had the opportunity to experience it firsthand. We could do it, but like we all agree and we are all saying, we are at a time when I am also one person who is of the view that there is no need to go borrowing money to go and spend on a birthday party or on things that may not necessarily, you can do without. You can do without. I just wished that we still were maybe at the Independence Square and cut down on the peripheral costs that would have shot us out of budget per se. But all the same, all is well that ends well. We had a program, it was nice, it was brief. And the president's speech, I had an issue with his speech though.
Okay.
Because just like the Sona went, I was listening to him and I was liking the speech until he mentioned the cost of the previous 2 celebrations in nominal terms.
Yes.
So he mentioned this one cost us 13 point something, this one cost us 15 point something, and then when it came to this year's celebration, we had to do the calculation because he gave us in percentage forms, in percentage terms, and we have to take pen and paper and begin to calculate 5% of 20 million or 5% of some millions. And I thought that we could have done better. The feeling that we will want to paint our predecessors black is not His Excellency John Dramani Mahama alone. I mean, as a people, you go and listen to all speeches by virtually all the heads of states, even from the military ones, up to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Everybody gives the state the impression that his predecessor was the devil's younger brother. And it's been so. You give yourself a reason to just give the dog a bad name sometimes. Sometimes, actually, the things we say, when it comes to proving them, people go to vetting, and when you ask them, then they say, oh, it was a stage talk or a political talk or this talk or that talk. So we should get to a point where we will get away from that. It's a fact that this country is in a state where we need a lot of resources.
So you're saying the comparison of the costs associated with the celebration the previous years and that of today, for you, smacks of a certain attempt to sort of demonize or to
No, that's not it. I mean, okay. I'm making reference to the general feeling of every head of state. Okay. I've said that we can go as far back as we can, and that everybody who comes gives us the impression that...
Why do you think John Mahama, Excellency, did that? I want to understand where you're coming from.
But if you look at... I just gave the reference that last 2 years cost us 13 point something. Okay. Last year cost us 15 point something. This year cost us 1.2 million.
Okay. And the impression you get from that is
the impression is that... Okay. That is not what I'm saying. I have ended with that.
Oh, okay.
I've ended with that, saying that could have helped the conversation better for me. Okay. And then I went ahead to say that there are parts of the speech.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear that. Okay, that's why
there are parts of the speech that will give you the impression that my predecessor.
He was berating the former president.
And this has not been him alone. Almost all our former presidents will say my predecessor did worse. But in his speech, I heard some very good things. Good things that just give me the impression that our previous conversations have sunk down. One of them is when I heard that we are going to have something in the form of an agricultural improvement.
Okay.
That we will be able to feed ourselves. If you remember, the previous government started something similar. We were to go into planting for food and jobs, planting for export.
And rearing for food and
so on and so forth. Yes. It's something that we shouldn't deviate from. And I heard the president talk about it, and I was very happy, extremely happy that we are going to make agriculture part of the things that drive this country. We might not have the technological power to become something like the Indians have done with the technology, but we have the land. We have so much water in the Volta Lake that is just going into the sea every day. Billions of gallons of water flowing across the country from north to south, which we could have put to a better use. All we might need to do would be to put a pipe and maybe draw this water to some place where we will need it, dam it, and use the water in the dam instead of sitting down and we don't have enough food, and then the dam gets full and we spill the water and it displaces our people, and then the cycle continues. And I believe that just mentioning the fact that we were going to do some level of agriculture that will bring us back and bring us wealth is good for me, very good for me. I paid close attention to all that he was saying, and some things that happened within the previous government. Maybe the budget will bring them out. But I thought they were very good things, just like he mentioned the agriculture and the rest of the things that I thought were very good and were going to help us. My main issue, which is big for me, which has something to do with our independence, I think Shamima went close there, is our education. Education, 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 education. If I want to leave my children anything that they will be proud of, I leave them education. I believe that's what most people do. You leave them education. If you have more, you can build houses and do whatever for them. But for the poorest person in Ghana here will want his children to have education. And the question of the quality of education Shamima mentioned, there's one thing we should never take out, and I believe maybe he didn't go into details because of the conversation that is happening around it. But I always want to remind government that if we are taking education, quality, yes, but access and support, that is financing, are critical. Because there are so many of us, I say us because I'm one of those people who did not attend any of your big schools. But today I'm sitting here. And I can earn a living for myself and my family through the education I had. And it wasn't the big schools that when they mention you, will shake. And I know so many people all over the world. We have mates, those from the smaller schools, quote and unquote, smaller, have mates are working with the Bank of Ghana and outside the country. So if you create the access and we create a way where the people can finance that access, like it happened in the previous government, then we are supporting the people to achieve something for themselves. And let's not forget, yes, we are trying to make the money, we are trying to work hard and ensure that everything is fine for us. All the things we are hearing, I bring in the education because of the small issues that are coming out of the conversation and the kind of recommendations we are hearing people making. That when the decision-making time comes, we should be careful because we used to have this cut-off point thing. And the cut-off point thing was a defeatist approach to giving our children the education they need. It was a defeatist approach, I will repeat that. Because we didn't have the infrastructure and because we thought that we could not afford certain things, we brought a number. So they say if you get 24 and below, the grade that you need, and they will say you have passed, is not 24. But for you to be able to enter any university or any of the institutions, you need 24. And the explanation was that our institutions cannot accommodate all the people. So if that is the problem, the solution is not making the children stay at home and turning into something else. That's not the solution. The solution is let's find a way of keeping the children in the classroom. And I said something, it's not very interesting to hear. It's not very challenging to hear. But I would prefer a child in that shared school, you understand, in that shared school that will go through and end up in Achimota school or end up in any of the schools that you can mention. I will prefer that child to the one that we are saying the shared is not good enough, so he should stay at home. That will not be right. So when we are making these decisions, let's be minded, let's be guided, and I believe that as part of our independence issues, jobs, education, and all those things that he mentioned, the jobs. When he mentioned it, I smiled a little because the sack them has become an issue. And now that I believe they are revising their notes, the takeoff was terrible in terms of the sack them. It was a bad takeoff for me. Whether somebody did it before, whether somebody proposed it before, but it didn't happen. Whatever is happening about the sack them, I believe by now government is revising its notes because I heard that they said the teachers, all teachers should go back and they should present their letters and whatever. Because these are our young brothers and sisters who have completed school. And hitherto, before now, they are people who would have gone into work Automatic.
Now check this, Ernest. So you're saying that you would prefer...
These are schools under trees, right?
No, yeah, this is school. The schools under trees. Are you saying that, for instance, you would prefer this scenario where the child is sitting on the trees? It's a classroom. Well, it's not a classroom. It's a class session, but it's not a classroom. You'd prefer this to the child being at home?
This is not what I'm talking about.
Oh, and
we have sheds.
Yes.
We have
so this one you don't. This one you don't like.
This we shouldn't let happen at all.
Okay.
For me, this is an opinion I'm sharing.
But it's better to be
this kind of thing.
Okay.
Should not happen at all.
At all. Okay.
But if I have children, and we don't live in these communities.
Yes.
I know why these things happen because I did some research on schools under trees, so I know why these things are happening. According to the Ministry of Education then, when I was doing this research, some of the schools even, people move into communities. Somebody is married and his wife and children, they move from community A to community B. There is no school there. He's moved with his wife and children. They are farming in some village, and in that village, they decided to start a school on their own. So most of these things start as family schools, and they graduate into some small community schools.
You're the only one I can rudely interrupt.
Oh, please go ahead.
When
if you have any question, I'll be ready to
with
address
Shamima. I'm going to beg the two of you. I have to take a break.
No problem.
You're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. Please stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh bread.
I'm a fat missy way.
Repacho bantama.
Machasi.
It's her smile.
The fresh breath.
Who are you? Who are you? Charlie, I'll be you from the future. Who doesn't sleep on that slice of bread you call mattress anymore? Don some slippers, then follow me.
It is part of the mattress we did the front there.
Yeah?
That'd be the mattress where the dead for me.
Wait, what are you doing? Wow! No damage at all. Not only durable, but also super comfortable. Come on, try it.
Nothing day like Ash Foam. Enjoy full body support and unparalleled comfort for a restful sleep.
Don't forget your keys.
Get the premium sleep experience with mattresses from Ash Foam. Visit any of our showrooms nationwide or at ashfoam.com.
Fire pomudi ni agobio Ghana fueni age efi say ya your local spices na ya frafra dia ya sankofa natural spice
me de go me jollof mu ne me still ahodoma e ma ne dance
Stanley, the barbecue they go on.
Sankofa natural spices and one you use 100% natural. Said the happen.
Adofo, mamu huge mistake. Sankofa natural spices. The
FDA agi ejedi nkratu yatu.
You the answer to my prayer. You're with me everywhere. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need tonight. Give me shelter from the rain. You breathe life in me again. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need to know. Tonight.
I'm a brand manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printers. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision.
Liza needs Introducing the A-Cup Grade A, K-Cup Equiafua Jinkwa, and the Irie Cup with cocoa blends, palm blend, and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste, and these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today. Boost your crop yield, improve soil health, and support sustainable farming practices. Choose A-Cup, K-Cup, and Irie Cup organic compost for a greener and bountiful harvest. For your purchase and more information, call the numbers on your screen. Our products are endorsed by Cocoa Board, Planting for Food and Jobs, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
You're still live on Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. Now, this show is also live on 94.1 FM. We're also live on Facebook, Good Morning Ghana, or Metro TV Ghana. Also live on YouTube, Metro TV Ghana. We're also live on DSTV channel 277. Joining us this morning to deliberate on matters that bother on this country is Mr. Enes Adade, who is the MPP's communications team member, and also our own Shamima Muslim, who is a deputy government spokesperson, and she's joined us this morning. And it's been so far a very, very patriotic and a very nationalistic conversation.
Yes. And they don't like it. They don't like it when there's no basketball in the studio.
It makes the show more interesting.
It's very interesting.
When it gets to the heat, it's more interesting.
Imagine. Sometimes I feel we need to rethink the whole model of doing programs where it's always about the banter. Sometimes we can put the partisan interest and the partisan, whatever aside, and talk about Ghana.
Tomorrow, you didn't tell us to be calm about it. It's
just the topic. I also think it's also for me. It's about it's more to do with your nature. You're not typically somebody who likes to banter a lot. Shamima too, unless
Sometimes you are led. You are led by the spirit.
You see?
Anyways, but I was on Anisha. I was trying to relate the cost cutting to other things, and the next thing I had on my paper that I wanted to link cost cutting to. I was talking about is the laying off, and I was going to say that laying people off sends a different picture to the ordinary man on the street that, NDC has come, we are just trying to create space for our own people and all that, and it's not like the thing is that bad. And the last week, I gave you an example of NAPE, right? And I was saying that when I was at the now YEA, then NYEP, the appointment letters that we gave to the people are similar to this. At a point in time, they are supposed to be rectified. You understand? So from the beginning, including me myself, who was a deputy, then now you will refer to it as a deputy CEO, I was also on a similar allowance. I have a problem 18 years or more later, because the second reason, besides just laying people off to create room for our people as well, our people, I mean the NDC youth also, is that you want to save some money or you don't have money to pay them or all that. But the guy who is not working, or who was working and he's now standing aside, can create more problems than when he is in the employment and we have to find innovative ways of paying all of them. Because the previous government was paying most of them anyway, like in the case of NAPE, whether if it's over the table, what do? Mechanize it. As simple as that. And they have. And their budget is there to support them. If we don't have a budget for them, it's a different thing. But I believe the previous years, they've had budget to pay them. Wherever the money is coming from, it's still from the consolidated fund anyway. It's still our taxes. It's not like somebody is going to take money from his back pocket to come and pay those people. How many of them? 32 out of... How many are we in Ghana today? About 30-something million. 32 people, if we have to look for money to pay them, I believe it wouldn't be out of place. And I'm appealing to the government they should be more innovative about it. I told you, I'm coming in the morning and I'll come in the afternoon. And that will make the conversation a lot more interesting. But the appeal is that this sack them thing is not going to help anybody.
Okay. So Prince Derek Ajay, your very good friend, he says hello. And
Hello,
that you know his new AKA is PDA.
PDA.
Yes. And he says I should tell you that you're looking splendid.
PDA, as we know, PDA.
No, Prince Derek Ajay. So PDA.
Not preventive
No.
You are going into a dangerous area.
I was wondering if Prince was coming to, abduct me this morning.
The point is, let's be careful with these, abbreviations and the kinds of memories that he evokes.
Oh, these are his own acronym.
Yeah.
Is it not his own name?
His own name.
Nobody should be afraid.
So his first of all, he says you're looking splendid. That's the first one. The second one, he says, that's in response to the question asked about how you are combining both your social and professional life.
Why are you even bringing this matter?
No, it's based on matter. No, it's not okay. That. He's made a comment on that. So he says, I hear the MPP bigwigs are also not picking their calls. Some have fled while others are licking their wounds from the humiliating defeat. But he has something for Mr. Daddy. He says, Ernest, Erika J has clarified, and that's the CEO of NAIP. He says there were no programs underway, and so he has asked that the volunteers take a break so that the office take a break from the office and their irregular employment processes can be looked at. And he says some of the workers had been employed but were receiving allowances instead of salaries for 2 years. Okay. So this is public.
No, that one doesn't.
Yes, please come in.
So on the with regards to the narrative that is coming from the opposition side about stop the terminations, you see, there's got to be a certain level of integrity in these matters, and a level of concession that makes us understand that you're coming into the conversation with some real goodwill, and not only as some political maneuvering to play into public sentiment so you can entrench, elements of your previous administration to stay within, the systems. And sometimes also, some of them, as we know, it can lead to problems with, especially the clear political appointees who there is evidence of their partisan activity online, campaigning, vilifying. You ought not to want to work with a government that you do not share a political philosophy with. I think Ernest can appreciate the fact. What worries me is the non-concession. In Parliament last week, one of their leaders got up on the same matter and said, assuming without admitting that such a thing happened in the past, did it happen or did not happen? They did not happen. You mean in terms of integrity, you can't even tell us that yes, these things did happen and that these kinds of considerations, these are the lessons we have learned as a result of unfairly dismissing 13,000 Ghanaians perceived to have been employed under, the erstwhile then NDC government. And this morning, Ernest also surreptitiously made that reference that, whether someone did it in the past, who is the someone? There's a name. So tell us, if NPP did this in the past, it is not right. It was not right for them to do that, to just blanket sack people from their jobs because there was a change in government. You've not made that concession this morning. So it makes me wonder, the motive behind, continuing to put this narrative out there after several clarifications have been made. We have said that we are coming to review a lot of things. We must review the systems. We must review the plans, the programs. We must review the policies. We must review employment practices. These matters happened during the transition time. It didn't just happen. The reason why the press statement, the directive came from the Chief of Staff to reverse all actions taken after 7th of December was because of the information that was coming to us from these same institutions and agencies about breaches in laid down practices for promotion, for employment, and even probation. So to the extent that we were not yet in power and we were part of a transition team, we, in a spirit of, proactivity, and without any reverse to adversarial engagement, issued a statement, the transition team then, the spokesperson Felix, drawing attention to these reports we were receiving with evidence of these actions that were being taken in the dying embers of your administration, in numbers that we haven't seen before. You make reference to similar actions that the NDC, I'm not afraid to say that, I was not a member of the NDC, but you make reference to some examples of appointments that NDC made after the elections of that period. The numbers of those appointments and the stature of those appointments couldn't have been just a one-day or a single-day event. Bring us evidence in the manner with which we are seeing the actions that have been taken after 7th December, that these were the same things that were happening. That didn't happen. There were no jump in promotions of recently employed, people. And even last week I was in the media, I got texts from workers of Cocoa Board telling me that it is true that some people who were recently employed have been promoted 2-3 times above their experience and their years of service in that organization. These are irregularities. We have seen irregularities, they are illegalities. In fact, there are some criminal actions that breach the labor law that if you are found as a director or an HR to have involved in such illegalities, it is criminal, to the extent that you would even have to face the law for those criminal breaches. So we issued respectfully a statement cautioning against these activities and telling the NPP government then to cease. What they did was not to engage us, to find out whether there was any basis for our concerns. They issued a counter statement telling us that everybody should ignore the directive that was coming, because we're also telling those who were accepting some of these promotions and employment to be wary. Because if we come and we review, us is by right, us as a new government that has been away for 8 good years, you must have an understanding of what has happened in all the spaces that you have to work in. I think that is a fair expectation of the new government, as they also did, and made sure there was a razzmatazz. You can remember the era of their transition period. After every meeting with the outgoing government, there was a press briefing telling us about telling Ghanaians about all the wrongs and the evil that they have found, sometimes without recourse to the right to respond to the query. We didn't do that in this our transition period. We met heads of agencies based on their handing over notes. We wrote out queries and presented those queries formally to them. They came back with reports on those queries. There were elements that said that let's be briefing the media. The media wants to know. Did you see that happen? Look, this leader that we have, John Dramani Mahama, even sometimes, at the expense of eliciting anger from his own base, truly wants to build a country. And that's been the character of this NDC leaders that we have had over the period. From Jerry Rawlings, when he became, a democratic leader and expanding the space of, of rights, even media freedoms, even with the challenges that we can point to of the PNDC administration. John Evans Atta Mills, when he came and allowed MMDCs to stay in power for 6 good months and never directed the active, prosecution, persecution of any political opponent under the guise of wanting to turn over a new leaf and tone down the heating of our divisiveness. John Dramani Mahama chapter 1, who didn't go pursuing political opponents without just cause, who under his watch allowed the investigation of his own appointees, some of whom were found guilty by the law court and paid the ultimate price. The same John today that we see, there's a propaganda that has followed the NDC over the years. But when you look at the governance of NDC over the years, you would see that it was always more prone to inclusivity and progress in comparison to other, governments of the past. So at least concede some of the things that you did wrong. Accept that you did them and they were wrong. Tell us why you did them and what lessons you learned from doing them that you want us to learn those lessons from. Again, by way of clarification, there is no blanket sacking of anybody without a right to rectify. But as I keep saying, to understand what has happened, we must review. And the review process must include asking persons that are persons of interest in the identified irregularities to take a step back whilst investigations are done. This is fair. If you're under investigation, if you're involved in a matter that's a subject matter of investigation, are you not allowed to recuse yourself whilst investigations are done? We have assured that when we do this process and we complete this process, those that have no issues or questions about which government, a mass government like the NDC, a government in the history of our country that has, especially this John Dramani Mahama's government, His Excellency, has the broadest representation of Ghanaians in his government.
So let me ask you this.
Which government would want to disenfranchise
So let me ask you this.
citizens?
The directive from the Chief of Staff, Julius Debra, to the ministries, departments, and agencies, was it meant to be strictly adhered to by the heads of those institutions? Or they were meant to give some kind of
But that
mass
is,
termination,
it's a false
mass
narrative.
termination.
It's a false.
That
But
is
that
mass
is, it's a
termination,
false
mass
narrative.
termination.
It's a false narrative.
Okay.
And it is propaganda, and they know it.
Right.
And they have to do it for it, and they have to say it consistently, like Goebbels would do. You have to repeat the propaganda consistently to make those who have not even been affected to start feeling like they are part of victims.
So the termination letters that we're beginning to see from some persons, some of which are being shared with us, who are saying that, well, they've just been dismissed, and they believe it's because of the consequences of that directive.
Who? You see, when you push further, who terminate? What is the story behind those specific actions?
Okay.
I'm telling you that democratic elections and change of government.
Yes.
The inherent logic in democracy is that you give people the opportunity to have options.
Okay.
When options are exercised, it means there would be change in the power base. One government is out, another government comes in. Look at what is happening in the USA with what Donald Trump is also doing. He's also implementing his own reset, approach. However you like it or not, leaders who have won elections have the right to form the government in the way that they believe that government will help to execute the agenda.
Right.
Because we went to the people with the agenda. Do you think that we will take actions that will further alienate the mass of the people who put us there? We know 1.7 million is the gap that Ghanaians put up, and some of these people are working in these spaces that will be temporarily affected by some of these decisions. But the shift in power base requires a shift in manpower, especially for those political appointees and political, positions.
Right.
Nobody should even have been telling anybody who is a political animal, who is being given a position, even if that position is a corporate position, because we know of appointed political animals in corporate positions of corporate agencies. Did you not know that?
Right.
Who should tell such a person that upon the exit of his government, he should just pack, hand over his notes and leave? That person shouldn't sit and wait for a letter to come.
Right.
So some of those letters that you're seeing are of clear political appointees that also need to make way because they do not share. Respectfully, dear fellow Ghanaians, let's be just in this matter and not, follow and fall for the propaganda we are being fed consistently. There are no mass terminations. There are indications of a process under review. If you're a teacher and you've received your appointment letter and it came after 7th January, and we say that those decisions stand reversed until such time as we review the process. If we find that you have, especially teachers, doctors, we need teachers, we need doctors, who is going to sack teachers? Please, when we need more teachers, who is going to sack doctors?
So once the person
until we regularize the process.
So once the person was properly employed, that person should have no cause to be worried.
If you are not a political appointee, in a position that gives an appointive power to the president, you should not be. You should not be worried about that.
Clear now.
It's very clear. So please, let me assure Ghanaian workers that His Excellency says he's coming to create, reset this country for jobs, accountability, and prosperity. That is true, and that commitment remains. However, as governments have shifted, we have to take space to create a government that reflects this vision, so that our leaders would come, our ministers, our CEOs will come into these institutions and implement the agricultural programs. We are in a country that we know of sabotage. Sabotages happen. And you cannot be wanting to dine with somebody who is an expressed. The person is a self-expressed enemy of yours. How do you dine with that person and feel that you can go and sleep easy? So please allow us a certain room, to exercise the mandate that you have given, knowing full well that we will want to generate the prospects that even if you were not a member of the NDC, even if you were a member of the New Patriotic Party who worked in a state institution or some ministry, department, or agency, but who was let go, you can, based on your skill set, still participate in the economy of progress and prosperity that we intend to generate for all Ghanaians.
This is the letter you requested. From the
you have some of the letters?
Yes.
Is that a political appointment or appointee?
So, no, not some of the letters. This is the Chief of Staff's letter.
The Chief of Staff's letter,
And it's dated the 10th of February, 2025. I'll read just the first, it's about 2 paragraphs. Consistent with government pronouncement in relation to near end of tenure appointments and recruitments, I wish to bring to your attention that all appointments and recruitments made in the public service of Ghana after 7 December 2024, are not in compliance with established good governance practices and principles. Paragraph 2. Accordingly, all heads of government institutions are hereby requested to take the necessary steps to annul. I don't know what we all understand by annul. Annul any such appointments or recruitments and submit a comprehensive report on the action taken to the office, to this office by 17th February 2025.
Yes, but how different is that from what Shamima said? Take the necessary steps. And
She
so she
said
clarified that what taking the
Chief of
necessary
Staff
steps
never
means.
asked anybody to annul.
No,
Cancel.
I didn't hear that.
Lay off.
I didn't hear
Cancel the appointment.
Oh, so
that
this
is
is
why
it.
You heard reverse. Did you
you-
hear the word reverse?
No.
Reverse is the word I used here.
Yes,
I
yes,
said
yes.
reverse
Reverse.
all those actions
Yes.
taken after 7.
So
and
the,
we
the,
reserve
the question
right
was
to
that
do with.
no, the reason why I pulled the letter is that there
But you
was
didn't
the
answer my
feeling
first question.
that he never gave that directive for people to act on, and annul. But
No,
this is the thing. This
that's
is where
not how
I
I
will give it to him.
communicated it.
He said after the 7th of December. But we have seen terminations that were dated back November and so. And their explanation is that letters were backdated. Let me tell you, if you take a teacher, when he is appointed, it takes not less than 6 months before you can go on the payroll, because you have to go through the IPPD and complete this form. Somebody will take it from your village to controller. It goes to GES to controller. Look, I have been a teacher before. My salary took 3 years to appear on the payroll. So if you come and you say that whoever didn't go on the payroll, including teachers, nurses, and other statute, okay, not all of them, virtually everybody on the government payroll would have been, but all other employees should go home. You haven't helped the state. There is a second letter that also came from the chief of staff, which was telling the people that any name whatsoever, it went to all chief directors, all heads of government institutions. And that one, it says, provide us with every data of even those on the payroll who might have come in at the latter part. Oh no,
we don't have the right as a new government.
No, you have every right. You are in government. You have the right. People's houses were raided. And you have the right to go and raid the house. Just that you don't have the right to go and raid it illegally. But you have the right to go to court, take a warrant, and go and come to my small village, my single room, and come and raid it. You don't have the right. You just will not find anything anyway. But the point I'm making is, there was a follow-up letter. So given the impression that the government did not occasion the terminations, that one will not. That is
your own
but you have the right. I said
of it.
I have been in a government office before.
I have owned every action.
When you were speaking, I was very quiet too. I have been in government office before, and when I gave you the examples, I told you that immediately the government changed. Most of us even packed and left. Yeah, you pack and leave. You don't ask any questions. Those are political appointees. They don't ask questions. So recently, I questioned. I was on one of your networks, and I questioned why, if I am a chief executive or whatever, and my government is no more, I wait for the letter telling me that I have been sacked. I won't wait.
Okay.
Others have. They are still sitting there.
And I don't understand why any of my colleagues and my friends should. I don't understand why they did that. But somebody said he was waiting for the government to bring a replacement. So you are waiting for him to write a letter that you have been terminated. Terminator 1. Then when you are terminated. So, Shamima, please, the appeal, you are not the first person I'm hearing this week. You are not the first person I'm hearing this from, that the government did not occasion the terminations.
I have not said so.
I have not said so. We are also questioning are not government appointees.
I'm happy you're here.
What I'm saying
I have not said so.
With if you make me land, you understand me. The terminations I'm talking about here are not government appointees.
Yes, those are the ones you're referring to.
They are the people that if he is staying and you come and sack him, he himself wanted it and he sacked.
Okay, but Shama, what exactly did you say?
So Moro, let me land on this. What we are talking about here is if the Nurses and Midwives Association did not rise, that they are threatening an industrial action. The nurses are going. Teachers, you just call them back. Go in.
Okay.
Then the NAIVs, the Ghana Water, and I'm saying that, look, it is not NDC people alone who will pay tax, or MP people alone who will pay tax. If it happened before, that's why I was careful when I coined my words well.
I want to move on. If you want to stay on this termination
if it happened before, and you told us that, certain things were happening, they are wrong, we are coming to reset the country, your reset is to repeat and
don't use
the effort.
You see, this is the
you want to double the effort?
I wanted to bring a clarity.
An upgrade. I'm asking him. I'm asking her. Is it a reset or an upgrade?
I wanted to clarify the point earlier, so that we can put it in proper context.
Any fair-minded Ghanaian watching us has just seen what Ernest has done. He continues to say if. You see, he continues, which means that Ernest and his party still have not learned the lesson that you wanted to teach them. The lesson of non-listening, the lesson of not accepting wrongs, the lesson of never acting to redress your concerns whilst they were in office for 8 good years. Right here, Ernest still is unable to accept. He continues to use the conditional word
That's
if.
why I'm using if.
He says, if such a thing ever happened, Ernest, you did not come from Mars. You don't know what your government did in the past.
Moro, do you have
anyway,
the data
let me
of that
clarify.
13,000?
I don't.
Let me.
You don't
no,
have. I
okay,
don't
there
have.
were no
Shamima,
sacks.
do you have it?
There
Can
were
you
no
produce-
sacks.
No, what I'm saying
we
is
can pull
you
it up.
cannot
There
be
were no sacks.
categorical
There
when
were
you
no
don't
sacks.
have the facts.
Oh, but you
I
cannot.
doubt if Moro has the facts.
Anyway, I'm sure.
Me, I saw
I'm sure
publications.
Ghanaians are watching
I saw
and
news
Ghanaians
publications.
know.
Nobody
He
saw.
didn't
So,
hear.
so
He didn't
that
hear
13,000
Osafo
could be
Mafu.
occasioned by them.
He didn't
I
hear.
don't have it.
He didn't hear Osafo Mafu.
I'm surprised she will be
about his
categorical
philosophy,
when she knows
his
that
philosophy
she
about
doesn't
what
have
should
the data.
happen to people when there's a change of government. Ernest did not hear the video that all
No, I
Ghanaians
saw it,
have
but
heard.
what I'm saying is,
you know,
when you are
but let
talking
me
about
also
political
say,
appointees,
let
we are
me
fine.
say
Yes.
that
when
they
you
are not
talking
fine.
about
They are
a
sitting
teacher,
down.
a nurse,
They are sitting down.
Let's
Today,
clarify the point. That you can come in.
today,
Let's clarify the
Ernest
point.
is the #1 advocate for the teacher, the nurse that they didn't finish the Agenda 111 to employ, the nurses
Don't
that
go
are
there,
sitting
don't go there.
at home, the
you
nurses
don't have
that are
enough
sitting
time
at
to
home.
digest that.
The Ernest today is the #1 proponent of the rights of nurses,
was
and I want
veered
to
into
assure,
Agenda
I
111.
want to assure,
We will go
400
there.
million Ghana cedis, is it not dollars, has been spent. It's 400
Ghana
million
Ghana
cedis
I can give you all the data.
have
The
been
data is
spent on Agenda 111 with no hospital in operation to employ nurses, to employ doctors. Let me assure you that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wants you and would assure you that they will generate the opportunities as we did with the hospital infrastructure that saw many of you get employment into the health sector from the year 2017 till when they exhausted their existing spaces and were unable to build any other health infrastructure. Ernest this morning, Mora Audu, wants us to rely on his experience in government because he's been in government before. But Ernest does not want to grant the same liberty to a president who has been president before, who has been vice and who has been president, to a chief of staff who has been chief of staff before. He doesn't want to extend the same liberties that this group of people perhaps understand the system more than him. So it will not lie in the mouth of Ernest to tell us how the things must work, because there is considered knowledge of how things work, which informed the letter that has gone out from a chief of staff who has been a chief of staff before, who understands what is happening. Ernest is not sitting in a position of privilege to know what information has come before the desk of the chief of staff. Let me again reiterate, we have owned the decision that we took. The directive, I use the word reverse. The directive was they should reverse all those actions. Do you know? The letter
is here. It's online. Anybody can
so
read
what does annul mean?
Anybody
If annul means reverse, you are reverse. No.
And check. The letter is there.
But Ernest, I asked you a question.
And you are saying reverse.
Reverse is the same as annul. The operational meaning of that annul. Yes. The right.
No, Ernest, don't do this. Don't do this.
I'm saying that. The right to also project his misunderstanding of a letter to Ghanaians without challenge.
English, every Ghanaian should know. There are professors listening to us, and professors of English.
Her job.
Can I get finished?
No, hold on. Ernest,
okay, I'm listening. What do you want to coax me then you change
if can I
A statement has been issued, right? As a government spokesperson, deputy presidential spokesperson.
I'm here
explaining. Job is to bring clarity and to elucidate on something that you're not sure about or something that you have an opinion on. Okay, so that and the reason I'm quiet about it is because she is clarifying something which has been put out there.
Now
you and I have every right.
The black and white.
Hold on. You and I have every right to want to put our own interpretation.
This is what interpretation is the word.
No, you don't get the point. No, for instance, you're talking about annul. She says I'm talking about reversal.
No, that's what she
is the same. What is reversal? Moro, let me talk about my own.
I want to put the thing in proper context before
we
you
are
come
not discussing what she said. We are discussing what the chief of staff wrote.
I understand you.
And we stand by it in spirit and letter. NS.
So
you people's employment will be.
So you don't want to grant her the benefits of the doubt.
Oh, she has.
No, she doesn't need to grant me because I'm not here to speak to him.
What she has to say about the letter.
The lies and the propaganda. You know, even right here, NS cannot concede anything at all. Which are the reasons why they are sitting where they are sitting right. Okay. Let me also say, for the benefit of Ghanaians, because we speak to Ghana, I'm here to speak to Ghanaians. The people who have given us this mandate. I'm not here to really, explain something, to explain a matter to NS who insist that they will not understand.
That's fine.
We stand by the directive that was given. And as I keep reassuring, that directive was clear.
Yes.
All the actions that were taken were supposed to be reversed.
Right.
If NS, who understood review to be cancellation, is also saying that annul is cancellation, but reversal is not annulment,
Google and
then it is. And so we must be doing everything to come along with Ghanaians. And they are real. I've got some teachers who are worried that I have assured them. Teachers, we need. Doctors, we need. If there are any irregularities stemming from 7th December, we will regularize those things and take up those that are supposed to be taken back. He keeps saying that it's government officials that we are supposed to be dealing with. Everybody who has been affected by the ongoing review process, be assured that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama does not lend himself to the vindictiveness many of you may have experienced in a time past. And so whatever he is required to do to regularize the systems and to ensure people are brought upstream in the spaces that they were already working, those positions that need to be re-advertised will be re-advertised.
But Sharima, do you also appreciate? That's fine. I get that clarity. But do you also appreciate if somebody who perhaps have not watched the show or have not had the opportunity of listening to this explanation to draw one simple conclusion, which is sack everybody because of the word annul? Would you blame that person?
Everybody whine.
No, because that's what is in the letter.
So we will continue to engage. And at the end of the day, the public sentiments would come back around the facts on the ground.
Okay.
Because if there were mass sackings with no explanations, is it how we are sitting peacefully? You think that's how we will be sitting peacefully?
But on hindsight,
Blocksack announced a strike.
Yes.
Based on a decision to appoint a non-civil servant. You think that if there were mass layoffs with no explanation, no justifiable reasons, Labour would be as calm.
But on hindsight, Shamima, do you think that if the letter had used the word review rather than annul, we wouldn't even be here? Debating whether it is cancellation. Do you think we would have been here?
The letter is what it is.
Yes.
That is our position on the matter.
Right.
And I think that please ignore the lies and the deliberate misinformation that NS is putting out in the public. That is their modus operandi. Right here, NS continued to say, if we did it in the past, that is the measure of the integrity.
I said if
it happened. You see, that is the lack of integrity on this matter. That if it happened, he told us that he had experience in government. His experience in government did not go into areas of vindictiveness, where people were let go on very flimsy grounds. His expertise in government did not show, and then maybe he was a common floor member. Maybe he was not in the position. Maybe he didn't see anything. Maybe he didn't hear anything. He didn't see anything. He didn't hear anything. And so he cannot speak truth to his own side.
Shabima finish and let me also bring my point. Let me hear him.
And let me also say that it is $400 million that have been dispersed so far under Agenda 1. 111. It's not cedis, it's $1 million.
Okay. All right. So Neil, just a quick one. We have 5. I'll give the 5 minutes to you for you to come in. But it says more. I'm sorry, but NS has to be told that resetting involves clearing out people who were hurriedly employed in government agencies and institutions with the sole aim of sabotaging the new administration.
That is what they want to
includes, it includes clearing out those unqualified political persons who were employed without a conditional advertisement of vacancies. Reset means reset and nothing else. Moro, please respectfully ask Ernest. Under the calamitous MVP regime, there was no time when Kojo Nkrumah came out to clarify statements and releases from the presidency and government. Where is this shameless hypocrisy coming from?
Oh, are you sure?
Okay,
but this, but let's go.
Let's do this quickly because our time is over.
I was surprised. I saw you pick your phone and drop it.
Yes.
When we were debating the annul. Annul simple. This is my phone. And Shamima knows the truth.
No, you're lying this morning. I'm even
surprised. It doesn't have any legal.
Annul is what it is.
It never happened.
And we have annulled it.
Consider
who is running away from the action that has been taken.
I said it on this show last week, right? That is their choice.
Hey,
it's a decision they made. They can go ahead with it.
Okay.
But I want Shamima to be proud of the decisions made by the government, she says.
Look, but you are not proud. You are not proud of your vindictiveness. You cannot even talk about it.
Because they were hardly.
You will not use your word.
They brought in
we had the right to use the word sack. We didn't use sack. Because we are not a vindictive group of people.
In opposition, we heard them say that police people were being engaged through the
wounds.
back door and all that. And I am a Ghanaian. If this economy will crash because
right
somebody made the wrong decisions,
or
we
somebody, did not use SAC.
I'll land soon. If somebody made a decision because he went to employ people that will bring extreme stress
and apparently
on the expenditures
you have
of this
a reputation
country,
of lying on your panelists,
and it will affect me, I will support her.
Okay.
Let them stay home and let's do the proper things. Let's find good ways of engaging them.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that you should be proud that I said they should be sacked and they were sacked.
Okay.
But don't come and tell me that you said they should reverse. What? Let me try.
Please let him.
That does not have legal existence.
Please let him know.
What are you reversing?
Yes.
Mimi, I don't understand English.
The actions that they were taking are being reversed.
So
if you were promoted, that promotion will be reversed to the persistent condition before the
Shamima, let me tell you, I know people who have worked in the previous government, who have worked in the previous government for 7 years.
That promotion or employment. If NS cannot
I don't have a problem with your promotion.
NS cannot understand
I am saying that if I say Moro should be sacked and I see Moro and I'm now scratching my head, then the people of Ghana
let's not really litigate this. I think you've made your point. She's made a point.
So,
that's fine.
No, she veered into Agenda 1. You said you give me my 5 minutes. She veered into Agenda 1.
Please do this quickly.
And I'm saying that. You see, the narrative and the way you put
are master of
is what helps.
Look,
the Agenda 111. By the end of this month, if things didn't change, go and see the timelines that were given.
Okay.
31st March 2025.
Yes.
33 of them are supposed to be completed.
Okay.
The materials, everything have been imported.
But realistically,
so this is what we are saying.
Realistically,
so this is what I'm saying. 3 completed. They are saying only not even one is operational.
8 good years.
And we are saying
you are still insulting Ghanaians this way.
It was, you claim
Bank Hospital.
Phase 1, you claim Phase 1 was completed. Phase 1 completed, you were begging Akufo-Addo to make it operational. Bank Hospital, a year or 2 after it was commissioned, it was not operational. So what we are saying, he mentioned the experience of the Chief of Staff, His Excellency the President, and a lot of them. You have been in government before. You have done the same things before. So you know that operationalizing a hospital and its commission are not the same.
8 good
Agenda
years.
111, when did it
$400 million.
Agenda 111, when did it start?
You promised health infrastructure.
I know she knows the truth. Agenda 111. I'm saying
that 8 good years you didn't add to the stock
help
of
Shamima. I don't want to argue with her. Help her.
8 good years. You could not add
what
a
occasioned the building of Agenda 111 hospital? Okay, Shamima, land. I'm coming.
I'm saying that
Agenda 111, its name
you could never
the actual name, the Agenda 111 is just an acronym. It is the Ghana Priority Health Infrastructure Program. What brought it?
We want a hospital.
When COVID came, we were distressed. And His Excellency, the President Akufo-Addo, at the time said, never again should Ghana experience this. So he brought this.
He didn't know that there was already
in our history, there's never been a situation where we committed ourselves to building 20 hospitals at a go. But the man said, let us build 100.
Yes.
And he committed funds to it.
Okay.
That is
Now that the funds have been committed, the 33,
highfalutin promises that they have no real commitment to deliver.
Okay.
And say, NDC
always speaking big and under-delivering. You over-promise and you under-deliver.
But you have come.
22
I told you that
could have
he
been
wants to
completed
do
with $400 million.
Right. Jobs in a different way. You mentioned Ghana without aid in a different way.
Let me quickly. I have some birthday dedications to make. I have some dedications to make. Ernest and Sharma, I beg you. So when we decide, Kwame Sapua said this says, when we decide to have an honest conversation on Agenda 111, Kwame Sapua said CDD. When we decide to have an honest conversation about Agenda 111, we will know how disingenuous the previous government has been. The confusion, the numbers of money required to complete these projects is because of the different numbers, is because all the different numbers are in official documents supplied by the previous government. That's Kwame Sapua Siedu. But let me just do this quickly. It is our birthday dedications. I need to do this quickly. Now, happy birthday. I did one for you. Yesterday was your birthday. So happy birthday to Ivan Edward Noy. Ivan Edward Noy, thanks for being a blessing to me and the family. God bless and make you great, my boy. Lots of love from your mommy. Is that from Kiki? Is that your mom? Kiki. Oh, Kiki. Okay, that's Kiki's mother. Okay, so this one is from Kiki. Now, this one here from... Oh, let me just do this quickly because I don't have all day. Now, happy birthday to Mariam Nana Masewa Kufuor of Parliament House. May you continue to enjoy God's great favor and blessings. Have a fantastic day and year. Thank you very much. And finally, hey, there was one other birthday dedication. I don't know where I've put it.
Young friends.
Okay.
Apparently, some young children were watching.
Oh, I see.
And so
you asked them to
I asked for their names.
Okay.
So Elogia, Eda, Seram, Dogbe, Makafui, Kobina, Dogbe, and Delali, Papa Kwesi Dogbe. Good morning from your Auntie Shamima.
Okay.
So keep learning hard and work hard and become great men and women for Ghana. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't mind Uncle Ernest.
I am a fan of education.
Anyway,
so and take a from us. I stand for the people who came from the hinterland.
So Odino for Jackson. Let me say a very good morning to you. You're an ardent viewer of the show. We're happy that you tune in every morning to watch us. Thank you so very much. And then also lawyer Kingsley Amwaku Buedu. You're a very good friend. The private legal practitioner, so another member of the MPP's communications team, and also a member of the legal team. It's just I should tell you that this morning you've been disruptive. He said you disrupted. You disrupted NS Saturday.
I will not let his propaganda stand.
All right. Thank you very much, Shamima Muslim, for your time. Shamima Muslim is deputy spokesperson. Deputy. And also, NS Adade is an MPP communications team member. Thank you very much for watching another edition of Good Morning Ghana. Same time, Monday, inshallah, Annie will be here with another edition of Good Morning Ghana. Bye-bye.
Celebrating hard work, commitment, dedication, and impact. The Metro Sports Awards 8 in 8 seeks to identify and reward the 8 most impactful